Good evening, PWCS families, and welcome to the Family Engagement Series. Tonight's session is Specialty Programs Information Session for middle school students. My name is Yanette Boyd, and I am the Supervisor for Family and Community Engagement. Today's session will be presented in the requested languages of English, Arabic, Spanish, and Korean, and will be recorded. We will begin interpretation once this slide has been reviewed in all the requested languages. So if you're on your computer, you're going to look for the interpretation button on your control bar. Once you click on it, pick the desired language. Then your icon should change. If you're on your phone, you're going to click on Join Audio and click Call over Internet. Click on the three dots and More. Click on the language interpretation and click on the language you want and done. At this time, the Arabic interpreter will review the slides.
Thank you. مساء الخير. نشكركم على الحضور معنا اليوم في هذه المناقشة. إذا كنتوا عم تحضرونا باللغة، إذا كنتوا عم تحضرونا من الكمبيوتر، رجاء الضغط على إشارة الكرة الأرضية للسماع بها المناقشة باللغة العربية أو اختيار اللغة المناسبة لكم، وهي اللغة العربية في هذه الحالة. إذا كنتوا عم تحضرونا من التليفون، رجاء الضغط على الإشارات على الثلاث نقاط في أسفل الشاشة. بعدين لما اختاروا الترجمة اللغة الفورية، وهي عفوا الترجمة الفورية، اختيار اللغة العربية للسماع مباشرة من الجهاز التليفون. وشكرا مرة ثانية على الحضور معنا.
Thank you. At this time, the Spanish interpreter will review the slide.
Una vez que se active la interpretación para español en su computadora, busque el globo en la parte inferior, haga clic para activar y escoja el español. El icono cambia a ES, que es español, y haga clic para listo. En su teléfono, haga clic para unirse al audio a través del internet. Haga clic en los tres puntitos, haga clic en interpretación, escoja español y haga clic para listo. Gracias.
Thank you. At this time, interpretation will begin. You may click on the interpretation globe. This time, I would like to introduce our presenter for this evening. Joining us today, we have Ms. Amy Hart. She is the coordinator of advanced academics and specialty programs. Welcome, Amy.
Hello, how is everybody this evening? Welcome to our middle school specialty program information night. Each year, Prince William County puts on an event to help families understand and navigate the specialty program opportunities that exist within our schools. I am Amy Hart, one of the coordinators at Advanced Academics and Specialty Programs. In addition to, we have Dr. Laura Evans on our team and our newly appointed supervisor, Jennifer Kavanaugh, as a part of our full team of Advanced Academics and Specialty Programs. As you have a question, ask them in our chat Q&A. After the presentation, we'll have a brief time to answer some of your questions. We will capture all of your questions and post them to the FAQ on our website. Additionally, we are recording this session and we will post it to the specialty program website. So if you missed something, you'll be able to come back to this presentation. Specialty programs were first created in the late 1990s to provide programs where students may focus on career exploration, subject area concentration, and post-secondary preparation. These programs are optional for our students. They're interest-based programs and they're available at our elementary, middle, and high school levels. Specialty programs are available for all students, including those who receive services such as special education, English language services, and/or gifted services. At the middle school level, all programs are transfer programs. This means that your students will attend the specialty program at the school full time. We provide multiple opportunities for our families to learn more about our specialty programs. We have general information sessions, we have school-based information sessions, help sessions, and our website. There's a link that we can drop in chat that also has a QR code on the screen that will help you to find our specialty program website. We host webinars for each level at the elementary, middle, and high school. And during these sessions, we go over general information about the specialty programs such as logistics, feeder patterns, transportation, and general programs. For each program location provides 2 school-based information sessions. The dates and times for each sessions are posted on our website and also are available through this QR code. In addition, we offer help sessions with members of our team each week to answer specific questions about the application process. Those help sessions work like an open house. Families can come and go once their question has been answered. Information about the help sessions will be posted on our website on November 3rd, 2025. When looking at specialty programs, one of the most important pieces is the logistics. It is important to know that all PWCS neighborhood schools are comprehensive schools. This means they offer regular and accelerated courses for any student in their building. Applying to a specialty program is optional. Acceptance or non-acceptance in a specialty program will not prevent your student from having a rich, well-rounded educational opportunity. Choosing to participate in a specialty program is a big deal. It is important for the students who are applying fully to understand the requirements and commitment. Families should also understand the logistics involved. When families are considering specialty programs and whether they apply for that specialty program, it is important to follow the steps on this slide. This slide is one of the most important slides in the whole presentation. Our work today will focus on step 3. We encourage all families to go back to the other steps after tonight's session, especially determining what is offered at your neighborhood or base school. Many of our base schools that you are right there in your neighborhood have specialty programs. Service areas for the program locations can be found on our website. For programs with multiple locations, there's a list of attendance areas for each program location. You will want to look at the website to identify what school has your program location. We have one example here. If I'm a student zoned for Reagan Middle School and I'm interested in the math and science program, where would I go? Correct. You're going to go to Marsteller for the math and science program. This means that you would attend Marsteller Middle School for all classes. I would no longer be a student at Reagan Middle School. With that, it's important that I look at the transportation options for my students. PWCS provides transportation to all students within their school boundaries. If your student is applying to a program in his or her base school, they will ride their normal bus to and from school. This is considered a traditional bus service. For students that are applying to a program outside of their base school, they will have the opportunity to ride express bus services. This provides students the access to specialty program locations, but there are a few important things to know about the specialty program express bus stops. 1, while our traditional bus services ensure that students are not crossing major roads, or our express bus services do not guarantee that. Students may not be able to walk safely to and from these stops. In addition, there are specific stops for each express bus stop, and those are the only bus stops available. You'll need to look at our website to view where these stops are located. Make sure you use the school where the program you are interested in is attending when you're understanding the express bus stops. Schools may or may not have school activity buses. If they have after-school activity buses, those bus stops may not take you to your express bus stops. This is a great question that you might ask during one of your school-based information night sessions you may attend. Here are a few examples of students that could come to Marsteller Middle School for math and science. Some of the students are considered base school students. Those are zoned based on their address. Our students in blue, and some are considered transfer students coming to the program from another school. Those are in red. The transfer students take the express bus stop, and the base school students will be walkers or bus riders for their neighborhood schools. For student A, the student lives 0.2 miles from the student's bus stop, while student B walks 0.8 miles to school. For our transfer students, they will go to the express bus stops. For student C, the student would take the express bus stop from Mullen Elementary, which is 0.6 miles from their school. For student D, the student goes 2.3 miles to Mullen Elementary. It is the family's responsibility to ensure that the student gets to and from that express bus stop in the morning and in the afternoon. Now that we've gone over the logistics of where specialty programs and the transportation, let's look at the 4 specialty programs that are available for middle school students. We have the International Baccalaureate middle school years. We have the traditional school program, world language programs, and our math and science program. We are excited to share how the middle years program integrates the Prince William County School curriculum within the International Baccalaureate framework. It's a powerful combination that supports both academic excellence and personal growth. At the heart of our approach, it is the belief that students learn best when they see the relevance of their education to the world around them. That's why the students explore state and district content standards through concepts, skills, and local and global contexts that transcend the traditional subject boundaries and encourage deep inquiry into the real-world issues. These understandings help students make meaningful connections across disciplines and cultures, and they foster a global mindset. What makes this framework truly special is that students are at the center of all learning. The IB model encourages student agency, voice, and choice, empowering learners to take ownership of their education. They're not just absorbing information, they're asking questions, solving problems, and reflecting on their learning journey. The IB focus goes beyond academics. It's committed to developing characteristics of lifelong learning, such as curiosity, resilience, empathy, and critical thinking. These traits are nurtured through every unit, every project, and every classroom interaction. Students are preparing themselves not just for the next grade level, but for life. Here are the 4 IBMYP program locations through Prince William County. We have Bevel Middle School, Hampton Middle School, Unity Braxton, and Fred Lynn Middle Schools. Now let me introduce you to our traditional school program. It's a unique learning opportunity that blends the Prince William County curriculum and assessments with a traditional school framework. It's designed to support academic success and personal growth. Both Porter and Pennington are traditional schools, and they serve students in grades 1 through 8. We are deeply committed to meeting the needs of all learners. Whether your child is receiving special education services, learning English as a second language, identified as gifted, or supported through a multi-tier support service, or MTSS, the team at the traditional schools ensure every student thrives. One of the ways the traditional school fosters a sense of unity and pride is through the school uniform policy. Uniforms help create a focused learning environment and promote school identity. Beyond the classroom, students have access to a variety of clubs, sports, and academic clubs, offering opportunities to explore interests, build friendships, and develop those leadership skills. The traditional school holds students and families to high expectation. Because of the excellence in this team effort, there are a few requirements. Students must wear uniforms daily. Parents, you are asked to complete 10 hours of volunteering per student each school year. Students need to complete 10 to 20 hours of community service, depending on their grade level. Both traditional schools maintain high standards for attendance and behavior, helping students build responsibility and resilience. The traditional schools are more than just academics. They form a partnership between the school, students, and families, all working together to create a safe structured, and enriching environment. Here are the 2 traditional school programs through Prince William County. We look at Pennington if you live west of Hoadley Road, and you would apply to Porter if you lived east of Hoadley Road. So we use those geographic locations to decide where your child would apply. Parents, please note there are limited seats at both Pennington and Porter traditional schools in grades 2 through 8. Seats after first grade will be only given to families if a family leaves to attend their base school or moves away from Prince William County. Students in the World Language Program will take Language 1A and Language 1B and Language 2. These programs will focus on the 5 goals of the national and state foreign language standards, which are communication, cultures, comparison, connections, and communities, which are the foundations of the program. Students will earn 2 high school credits that meet the world language requirements. Please note that all middle schools offer Language 1 for all 8th grade students. The language program allows you to take the first year of language in the 2 years and the second year in your 8th grade year. Students must be a rising 6th grader in order to apply for the World Language Program. It is a complete 3-year program. Here are the 3 World Language Program locations throughout Prince William County. We have Fred Lynn, offering French and Spanish, Lake Ridge, which has French, German, and Spanish, and Parkside, which has that French and Spanish program. Math and science. Let's explore the opportunities available within this program. These programs are designed for students who are eager to dive deeper into the world of mathematics and science. They offer opportunities that not only challenge students academically, but also nurtures their natural curiosity and love of learning. Whether it's solving complex math problems or conducting science experiments, students are encouraged to think creatively, collaborate with peers, and develop the skills that will serve them well into high school, college, and beyond. We have 3 schools that offer the math and science. We have Grand Park, Marsteller, and Ripon Middle School. Here's the application timeline. Notice that you're at the time where you're doing step 1. Step 2 is going to begin when the applications open on November 3rd. You're going to submit an application by 11:59 on February 1st. So we have a nice window for families to do that application and research. Then you're going to be checking for that status mid to late January, and you will have the opportunity to accept or decline any offered seats by March 5th. All communications regarding the application status are going to be delivered through the online registration system. We're going to have different acceptance results. You might get accepted, not accepted, or waitlisted. If a student is offered a seat, the family must accept this offered seat by March 5th. The system will display an option for you to accept or decline the seat. If a student is not accepted, there are several possibilities for this outcome. The student might not have met the program requirements. The student was entered into the lottery system but was not selected for a seat and then placed on a wait list. Waitlist information number where you are on a wait list will not be shared with families, but we will be pulling off wait lists through September 30th, 2026. If a student is not pulled from a wait list by that time frame, they will need to reapply for that program the next year. This is important to note. Accepting a seat in a lower preferred program does not prevent a student from being offered a seat on a wait list or higher preferred program. Let's explore the application. On this screen, you're going to notice you're going to look and choose the grade for next school year. We are preparing through this application for 2026-27 school year. You're also going to be asked to confirm your address. Please note that you can apply to up to 5 specialty programs. You will see multiple selections for some schools. Note that you may see multiple language programs at one school. If you want to apply in that world language, you can choose French and Spanish, as this is showing at Fred Lynn. And then you could choose the other programs to complete those up to 5 programs. This will prompt you to notice that it's been decided. Did I skip? I did, sorry. On this slide, you'll notice that you have a few options. You can change the order of your selected programs by dragging and dropping the tiles. You just grab those 6 dots located in the blue area of each tile. If you want to remove a program, click that red circle with the dash in the center. Only the programs you've already selected will appear here. To add more, you're going to click that plus add program button. Remember, you can select up to 5 programs total. This is going to prompt you that you know that your choices needed to be decided before moving on. So in this example, there were 2 choices. You have up to 5, but you do not need to choose 5. So if I feel good about this, this is where I would click yes, continue. You will be asked to answer the questions concerning having a sibling at a school you are applying to if one of your school choices are our traditional school, Porter or Pennington. The other schools will not ask this question. If you select yes, you will then be asked to enter your sibling's name and grade. Next, you're going to be providing transportation information. For each school you apply to, you'll have the opportunity to select the most convenient express bus stop location for your student. Please keep in mind, express bus stops may not be within walking distance, and it is the family's responsibility to transport students to and from these stops each morning and afternoon. You'll also be asked whether the school is your zoned school. If that is your school you would attend normally, you will select that. If you are applying to Porter or Pennington, do not select this as an option. These schools do not have base school populations. Families may also choose to opt out of transportation. However, please consider that transportation needs may be changed during the school year. Selecting transportation now helps to ensure flexibility later on. At this stage, you'll be asked to type your name to serve as your signature, confirming that you understand all components of the application. If you select yes for a disability accommodations, you're indicating that your student requires support specifically to complete the application process, not for general school accommodations. Most of those accommodations would come at the high school level if there was an audition, for instance, at Colgan for the Center for Fine and Performing Arts, not for our middle school applications. Also notice the VHSL is not applicable for middle school program. This more is for high school, but it is present on this page. I see a green rectangle labeled submitted. This confirms the application has been successfully submitted. I also am seeing a note that lottery results will be shared on or before March 1st, 2026. To manage my application, I can click on those 3-dot icon, also known as shish kebab or the snowman icon. This allows you to view, edit, or delete the application. If you have another student you'd like to apply for, you're going to use that Start Form button at the bottom of the screen to begin a new application. Thank you for attending this evening, and we hope that you have a successful application season.
All right, we did have some questions, of course, come in the chat, so I'm just going to go through them and we'll ask away. Let's see. One of the questions was asked, recording and slides will be shared. Yes, this, information session is being recorded, so I'll make sure we share the video recording and the slides as well. One of the questions says, let's see, more questions are coming in, so it keeps moving here.
Just select one or two, three.
Can the student apply to multiple specialty programs since acceptance is not confirmed? I believe you answered that, correct?
Your students can apply up to 5 programs, and we do our best to get them in the highest preferred program, but we have 5 just in case we need those options.
Another of the questions, would after-school activities be done at the new school if the program moves the student from their home school?
So that's what we were saying. The after-school programs may not have a bus transporting to the express bus stops. So that would be a family's responsibility to get the students to and from, being that activity buses do not necessarily incorporate those express bus stops. There may be shared bus stops, but it's not guaranteed. So that would be something to ask at those school-specific information nights.
Child has a 504 or an IEP. How does this affect their application or chance of getting in the programs?
Having a 504 IEP is not going to affect at all your chances. This is interest-based. We want all of our students able to participate in this opportunity. All schools are going to be able to support 504 plans and the IEP plans, and also gifted services if your student has been found eligible. So those would just transfer to the school and become managed with that case manager.
Where would families find the application? Is it on your website or where is it located?
Absolutely. So it's not there yet because it's not live until November 1st, but we are working very hard to build this very intuitive space for our families to understand step by step of what they need to do. But it will be connected right to our website. It will give you the button. You'll go into the application process, and then it'll be completed. And it is talking to our hub, and that is our student information system. So it will understand your students' information right from there that you filled in when you registered your students at your base school.
Someone asked if their child is given any priority if the program they want to go into is their base school.
There are some programs, and we are having the programs put their requirements on their webpage. So that would be something that you will need to research as you look to the school that has the program. There are schools that do give preference to base school students. That does not mean they don't offer seats to students that would be transferring. That would be a school-based decision.
This individual said, my child is in 6th grade this year. Should I have done the research and application process last school year?
If your student was interested in the world language program, that would be affected by that, being that it is you do 1A, 1B, and that second year, so you need those full 3 years. For the International Baccalaureate, the traditional schools in the math and science, you may apply as a 7th grader for next year.
One of the questions that came in, will a similar session be conducted for high school? Yes, we will have a session next week on October 28th, 6 to 7:30. So please register for that.
And you can go to our website and you can gain the registration form through that button. And also there's a space for you to click if you need translation services. So that's all housed there. And I believe that's also on your site for family engagement.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about how the lottery works?
Lottery is the lottery. So it just looks at how many students have applied, and it just like the Virginia lottery, it just randomizes, selects students, orders them, And then we understand from a school, remember these are zoned schools, so they do have populations that live in that space. So we don't want to extend them by going over capacity. So the seat offerings will depend on the school's availability to offer the seats. And then the students are plugged into that. Any seat over that would be placed on a wait list. You have to remember, if they have up to 5, those students, this may not be their top choice. They may choose other options, which would free up other seats. So there's a lot of movement in those first couple weeks of people accepting, declining seats. So there's a lot of availability. Some of our programs have quite a bit of space. Others are much more restrictive.
Questions that says, do we have to apply every year?
That's a really good question in the respect of if you have been accepted, let's say at Ripon for math and science, you do not need to reapply. You will stay in that program. If you did not gain a seat into that program, you would need to reapply to go back into the lottery.
Is it too late to enroll for the current school year for students who just moved to the state or to the area?
As of right now, yes, we were running off-cycle applications after this closes for families that moved in after February 1st and up until September 30th. In Prince William County, September 30th sets our budget, depending on school, the enrollments. So we are not able to start placing students into programs that wouldn't be able to gain that that budgetary the money for the budget.
All right. If a student is accepted, are they in the program for the remainder of middle school, or do they have to reapply each year? I think that's kind of what you just.
They would remain. You always, though, do have the choice to go back to your base school. That is a family's prerogative. So if you are not wanting to participate, or for whatever reason, you may always go back to your base school, but you would remain in that program as long as you are wanting to participate and met the requirements. There are requirements to stay in programs.
It says on here, what will be the reason a student may not necessarily get into their preferred school? I mean, their preferred program.
Most of the time it would be space due to the lottery. We have a lot of applications that come in, and there may be 60 seats, and there might have been 250 applications. So most of the time it's due to seats available at that school for that program.
Let's see. Can you just briefly go over maybe the express bus transportation information? How that works?
So you're going to go on the website, and on that right-hand side, there is a space that says transportation. Click on that. When you open that, you are going to need to understand what school houses the program you're interested in. So if you were doing Ripon Math and Science, you would go down to Ripon. At that point, you will see the schools or the bus stops below it, and those are the choices for the express bus stops for Ripon. Each school that holds a program has their title of their school on there, and below it, transportation is created. The schools or the spaces that they have for the express bus stops.
One of the questions, or a couple of questions came up here about the November 3rd date. I think they're getting a little confused. Some are thinking that's the day they have to have the application completed, but that's the day the application opens. Is that correct?
Yes, and that's important to remember. Some of our families, we actually have had like applications like they're getting Taylor Swift tickets, like they have to hit go as soon as that clock. Get your sleep on November 3rd. You do not need to wake up in the middle of the night, and this is not the same as Taylor Swift. You are going to have from November 3rd till February 1st. We will be checking regularly in to make sure applications are completed correctly, any type of communication and understanding of who's applying, those types of things. But we will not make any decisions as a lottery decision until after it has closed on February 1st. Once it closes, we lock, and then we do what we need to do internally to make sure everything's set and then they would do the lotteries, and then we would sort that out for communication to families. But there's no advantage. It doesn't number you as you were the first, third, 31st, 103rd application for that program. You all have fair chance to gain a seat.
Amy, where can families go if they need to see if maybe one of the schools that has a specialty program is holding an information session for that particular program?
All of them are going to be holding 2 sessions. So we've asked them to do one in person, one virtual. They have the option for virtual. Some have chosen to do all in person. Most of the first ones are between November and December. And then the next information night is in the January timeframe. That QR code that I put on that slide, there is a nice little chart for you to see all of our schools, the coordinators, and also the information night 1 and information night 2. If you go to the website, just put in PWCS specialty programs, it should pop up and you should be able to navigate and find that information pretty easily.
Another of the questions that came up is if they already have a student in a specific specialty program, will there be a sibling preference? And if there's any way to note that on the application?
As I said, the only schools that are going to be using that information are Porter and Pennington. The other schools at the middle school level are not going to be asking you about siblings.
Okay. See, I'm still looking.
I was going to say, we will answer these questions. You have them banked. We'll be putting this together as FAQs. So your question can be answered as we kind of work on those.
How will the messaging go out to families when the application opens? Someone asked if there are going to be reminders or information sent out.
You will get an email letting you know that your application was submitted. You will be getting that email from the application once that decision has been made. Remember, your email is going to be one is possibly tied to the hub. So what you've put in the hub is going to be the email that possibly the information is going to be used to push out to families. We use this for school status. So if you've got an email, and we noticed this previously, families didn't realize that was the email where information was going. So make sure that that email is a good email that a base school has on file in the hub. That's part of that student registration that you every year need to update and make any modifications on at the beginning of the school year.
There was a question, is acceptance on a first come, first served basis? For example, if you apply early, would you get preference?
No. Like I said, it's not Taylor Swift. You can apply on November 3rd. You can apply on, December 13th. You're going to have equal opportunity. We do not do anything with the applications towards lottery, decision making, anything of that sort until we have closed officially. Everybody has their opportunity after February 1st.
All right. And let's take maybe 2 more questions here. Let's see. Do the students need to take any tests prior to joining the World Language Program or applying to the program?
No. World Language is completely an interest-based program. So if your student has an aptitude to wanting to learn another language and have the opportunity to get, especially at that middle school, that high school credit, that would be a nice program for them to participate in.
Let's see. There's a lot of questions about the presentations and the QR code. So you will get a copy again. You will get a copy of the presentation as well as the video recording. And we are keeping track of all of these questions. I'll make sure to get that information over to Ms. Hart so that you have that, or they have that so that they're able to post it on their websites for the frequently asked question.
Yes.
One of them came up, nothing has been stated about the all-female program. Do we still have that?
So that was our same gender. It was, we had it for both genders. That was over at Woodbridge Middle. We have sunsetted that program. So we are letting students that are currently in it move through it, but it is no longer a program that we have offered within Prince William County.
All right, and the last question is, it was asked a couple of times, when they go to information sessions at the schools, should they bring their child?
You know what? That you can bring your kid is as long as because when I was a coordinator at a school, I had the kids come, and it's nice because you can go to the building to kind of get a sense of the the school, the staff, all of it. So especially middle school students, absolutely. If you have younger kids, if they're able to sit still and listen, you can bring them. Schools are normally pretty accommodating to that, but they're real young, you might want to leave them at home so you can fully concentrate on the information being delivered by the school coordinator.
All right, and then I know I said that was the last one, but this one came in. If they apply to more than one program, would that, maybe widen their chances of getting accepted into a program, or, does that affect maybe them getting their preferred
So
program?
we always try to give the students the highest preferred program.
Mhm.
So applying to multiple is never going to hurt your chance. We're always trying to give students the highest preferred program option. Having other choices allows us to kind of tier them in if need be. But also, if you are offered, let's say, as your second preferred program, a seat, you can accept that seat. If you're on the wait list for the number one program, you can still gain access through the wait list. You will be told you're being offered a seat in that higher preferred program. You can then accept that seat, which would open up the seat into the other program, which would allow someone else off of the wait list to get a seat. So we want our seats filled, and we also want to give students their highest preferred program that we possibly can. So that's why we do ask you to rank them and also take time to think about that. Sometimes applications are rushed and all of a sudden students change their mind. There's no reason to rush the application. Sit with it, visit the schools, make those decisions, and then submit that application once it's truly decided by the family.
All right, and could you please let us know how a family applies if their child isn't yet in PWCS? Maybe they're planning to attend next year. How they would go about to applying?
So we have families that are able to apply that are not at this window, that are not current Prince William County school families. You do need to have a Prince William County address, and that's important. You don't have to have purchased or rented or leased the space that you're looking to live in, but you do need to have an address of where you're looking. So if you're looking at Bristow and you're going to be within the Marsteller zoned area is where you're trying to find your place to live, you would put that address. This is where it gets to be what you need to understand. If for some reason, then you decided, oh, we want to move over to Gainesville, your school choices may actually change some. So you would have applied for where you were thinking you were going to live in Bristow. If you changed to Gainesville, it may change the schools you were able to apply for. The application would not transfer. So if your student was selected for a program and you moved into a different space, that seat does not move to another school that holds that program. They have their own lottery run. So that is something you need to understand. You need to be careful, make sure you're choosing a space when you use that address of where you're pretty sure that's where you're going to live. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Well, thank you so much, Amy. We truly appreciate you coming on and, doing this presentation for our families. Thank you all for all the questions. I will make sure that Ms. Hart has all these questions so that they're able to put the answers on the specialty programs website. And I will be sending this presentation, the video recording, to everyone who registered. And I will also include the link to the specialty programs website and any other information that is pertinent to anything that you may need. And so thank you all once again. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful evening. And hopefully you'll be able, if you have high school students, we encourage you to join us next week for the high school session. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening.